worst goes wrong, you never existed.
Hello, I am Kris from thestickfactions.com. I'm joined today by Tef. Say hello, Tef.
Hello.
And we are here to talk about the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 single-player element. This is one of 3 videos, and the other 2 we are talking about zombies and about multiplayer. But this video is specifically about the single-player elements. The campaign more, because it's now very co-op-y. There's
an awful lot of co-op, yeah.
Yeah, but if that's what you're interested in, then this is the video for you. So let's get rolling first by talking about the story. Obviously, that's the key part of the campaign. Call of Duty is generally maligned for its stories, but I think Black Ops has done relatively well as like a mini franchise within the broader Call of Duty series. So how does this follow on from Black Ops 2?
Yeah, I'd agree with you that Black Ops has, well, the first act, Black Ops in particular, was a bit of a high point with the story. I really enjoyed the Cold War paranoia and stuff like that.
It's really interesting.
And then Black Ops 2, maybe a bit more criticised for the story, and that it was a bit messy maybe, but Black Ops 3 is kind of a clean break.
Okay.
Almost. You're still within the same universe. It's set like 40 years on from Black Ops 2, but there's new characters. Obviously, there's much more advanced technology.
Yep.
And it was the whole thing where they announced the game. They talked about like the universe, and everyone was just like, "Oh, you're doing a Deus Ex game then?"
Yeah.
Because you've got an awful lot of human augmentation, and it's not just for like life saving. It's kind of an optional thing, so you can like go in and get like an arm replaced with something. But it's difficult to really see some of that. It doesn't obviously have quite as much universe building as Deus Ex does, where you've got open world and it's like exploring as just being
is it still a fairly kind of driven campaign as we're used to with Call of Duty?
Exactly that, yeah.
Okay.
You do have like new futuristic factions, though. You've got the Winslow Accord, which is the kind of good guys, I guess. It's like America.
Man, that does sound pretty futuristic as a name.
Yeah. And it's America, most of Europe. The European Union collapsed like decades ago, and then like there's a defense pact on the other side with like Russia at its heart and lots of Middle Eastern states and stuff like that. So that's the universe, but that's not really the battle. That there is a Cold War kind of situation going on between the two, but you kind of skip over that to get to something more about like the characters involved and what's going on with the human augmentation and how that's affecting people.
That's interesting, because that is, as you say, it's very Deus Ex-y in a way, but that is literally the plot of Mankind Divided. Have we still got kind of the jumping back and forth bit in time that is we've had in the previous Black Ops game, particularly in Black Ops 2?
No, I mean, because a lot of that was based around like the characters that you had, and so this one it's got new characters and it's much more straightforward.
But we haven't got, what's his name, Mason or whatever it is anymore.
No, he's all gone. You play as you've got a kind of half customizable character. You can pick between a man and a woman to be your particular operative. And you can then pick between 9... They've always got the same face, depending on their gender, but you can pick a different hairstyle and like skin tone. And actually, it was quite funny at the review event. Basically, everybody played as the woman.
Okay, that's interesting.
And it's going to be interesting to see if that pans out in the real world. Like, she's actually really nicely styled, and I think it's a credit to the styling of the people, that she kind of just looks like a badass 80s action movie. There's a lot of Ellen Ripley in there, I think.
That's cool. Talking of jumping back and forth, obviously they announced that in this you're going to be able to jump, like they described it as being like Netflix, in that you can pick any mission. They're like all unlocked from the beginning, right?
Yeah, well, they're not unlocked from the beginning. Like, you have to get to... One of the things that they've done is they've created a safe house, because they want the whole game to be played, or very, very easily playable in co-op. So you've got the safe house, you can sort out your loadouts, there's like a little side combat immersion mode where you can like test out guns, that kind of thing. That's a cool feature, and in there is a computer terminal which you can go to and you can pick from a mission list. But if you haven't played a mission yet, it's greyed out. If you then select that mission, it says, "Are you sure you want to just unlock everything, or do you want to carry on playing in order?"
Oh, okay. So it's not automatically unlocked, but you can be like, "You should unlock it all."
The only problem is that it's obviously going to like remove whole chunks of the story from what you're seeing.
Yeah.
And so you'll be hearing about things, you'll be seeing different people, you won't know exactly what's going on. I would also say that because of how heavily science fiction the story gets towards the end, and it gets a bit unexpectedly surreal. Let's put it that way. It goes further away from reality than a Call of Duty has done in the past, which is very interesting.
Okay.
So if you do go and jump into the last mission, you won't have a clue what's going on. But at the same time, if you've played through all of the missions in order, you probably come out of it with a fair few questions, and there's a few thinking points in there.
Is it going to be one of those campaigns where it's worth playing for it a couple of times so that you are grasping all of the story beats?
It's interesting because, again, in the safe house, you've got these computer terminals where you can, it's got the lots of files which go into the backstory and explain the world and stuff like that. So
that's interesting.
I actually went in and I looked to see who was in the Winslow Accord because I wasn't 100% sure what was going on there. So that's an interesting point which I would not have grasped just through playing the story.
Yeah. That's nice that they're building like a real backstory, because quite often they build this world and then the world is the focus of it rather than telling a story. Whereas here it's the opposite. They've kind of built the world and they're like, all right, let's tell a story within this world we've built, which is the right way round to do it.
Yeah, and it's a clever way of like giving you just enough detail where you're thinking, oh, what's going on there? So that then you maybe want to look and see what's going on. Obviously, there's more than enough opportunities for people who don't give a crap to just like blast through it and just shoot people.
Yeah, of course.
But it's good that they've done it this way around so they can focus on the people.
All right, excellent. Obviously, last time around we had Kevin Spacey as the big star. I assume he's not here again, but have they got anyone similar coming in?
No, he's not here, obviously. That would be quite funny if they'd signed him up for 3 games, but it was 3 consecutive Call of Duty games.
Weird.
But he's always playing the same character, just this transpose from one universe to another.
But these are different, because that happened... No, this doesn't make any sense.
So the 2 main ones are Christopher Maloney, who had like a decade-long stint in one of those Law and Order spin-offs. Okay. He's sort of like the shaved head chap. Like, he does an incredibly good, totally blank expression. He's that guy, and you'll see him in the video. You've also got Katie Sackhoff, who you will most likely know as Starbuck from the from the Battlestar Galactica reboot.
I was thinking that name's familiar. Okay. You mentioned it earlier, and it's kind of the big deal that they've made with this Call of Duty game. It's going to be all co-op. Well, all playable in co-op, right? That's
pretty much.
They've kind of talked about this a lot.
Pretty much the entire game, regardless of mode. You can play it co-op, you can play it split screen and online.
How many split screen are you allowed?
So, off the top of my head, I believe it is 2-player split screen for the campaign, but then you can also call in other people to join you, so you can still have 4 players. And then it's 4-player split screen co-op for the zombies and the multiplayer mode. The one thing I would say about co-op is that you want to make sure that you're playing with people who've got a similar play style. They've made a choice, and I was talking to Jason Blundell, the game director, about this at the review event. And he said that they have the co-op checkpointing. It's basically the first person to go through the checkpoint triggers it and drags everyone forward.
That sounds weird.
It is a little bit weird, and there's a very, very strange screen effect where it sort of turns into hexagons and then peels away. It's not the most pleasant of effects, and it can tear you out of the moment a bit.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, it's tearing you from one part of the game well to the next. But my problem was that I was always way at the back because I'd settled on a sniper rifle because there are
after my own heart.
Yeah, there's some. Well, I know how much you like sniper rifles.
I do love a sniper rifle.
Because there's some incredibly difficult enemies where you just have to absolutely hammer them with bullets constantly, and I found the perfect fast fire sniper rifle and it was just like I could, instead of having to go through half of my ammo to take down this one enemy, it was just like I could just nail headshot after headshot after headshot and take them down. It was a very good gun. And I basically stuck with that through most of the story. And so I was right towards the back of the group, and so I was always being dragged forwards. But they are, for the release game, they are like broadening the range a bit further, so you're not, if you are within roughly the same area, then you're not always going to be dragged forward. So, as I said, like, make sure that you stick with people that you know play, and if someone's just running off into the distance, which, again, I was at the back, someone else was running off into the distance, then like tell them off a little bit, because it can be a bit jarring to see this.
Obviously, this game, as you were talking about earlier, you've got the kind of sci-fi augmentation elements, so I'm assuming you're getting cool, funky abilities to play with?
Yes, you are. It can kind of get a little bit Bioshock at times. There's one ability where you can just like throw fire bees, which I assume are little robot bees,
that
at
seems
people
pretty
and set
sweet.
them on fire.
That's also definitely a Bioshock ability that was like cut.
Yeah, robot bees anyway, like that. I think they reverted to normal bees, magic bees for Bioshock. And yeah, they're doing some interesting things with like how many of these abilities that you've got. So you actually have multiplayer-like loadouts, which you can flip between, and there's always going to be a default loadout which will give you a particular gun, like maybe a heavy machine gun for something where you've got lots of enemies coming at you.
Okay.
But the thing is that within this, there are 2 points where you're picking specific passive abilities where you can double jump, and so you don't always have a double jump. You have to pick and have that in your loadout.
So it's possible to get through the game without having double jump.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting from the point of view of how they've designed the levels. So you don't need to always make double jumps, but if you want to get up to a rooftop, then obviously you need to have this in your loadout.
Sure. So if you are playing as a sniper or something, then it might be useful to have double jump there.
Yeah, exactly, that kind of thing. And then you've got as a separate kind of thing, you've got like trees of augmented abilities where they've got a different focus. So like Chaos, that's got the bees and like things that are meant to affect the humans a bit more. You've got a tree which is much more focused around affecting the robots and drones, and so you can like stun them, knock them out of the sky. And yeah, it's quite nice and immediate, and when you're playing in co-op, it's good to have like complementary abilities, because it means you've got the overlap in like one person could be taking out robots, the other person could be making all of the enemy soldiers throw up. And yeah, I would say that there's maybe one or two abilities which you're going to like find and think, oh, I really like this one, and stick with that one more than the others. So
one of the other things they've talked about quite recently with the game is the realism difficulty, where it's like one shot and you're dead, right?
That's it, yeah. It's a strange one for a Call of Duty game, isn't it?
Call of Duty games have been quite bullet spongy.
Yeah, a bit of bullet sponge, I guess, but there's also a lot of running and gunning.
Yeah, it's not like it, because this feels like it's alright, play this game really slowly, otherwise you're dead.
Well,
which is not the Call of Duty ethos.
That is kind of what it ends up being.
That's not what any of the previous games have really gone for. It's not their target audience.
No, not in the slightest. I would say that like it does actually work really quite well, but it only works because you've got the co-op there. Definitely play realism mode with 4-man co-op, because there's some nice points where we only did one mission through, but there's some nice points where you can split up and go as pairs. You always want to have a buddy with you, because if you get downed and you die, like you run out of time to be revived, then that's it. It's over for everybody. Everybody has to survive.
Oh, okay.
But it does really focus how you're going to play through the game. So you're going to be much more cautious, you're going to stick together, peek out from behind cover, maybe do so at range. That's why I've got the freaking sniper rifle after all.
Yeah.
But thankfully the AI isn't too accurate, and so you can battle your way through it, but it's definitely not something to do solo, and you definitely want to play it in co-op.
And I also imagine this would be for like your second playthrough kind of thing.
Oh yeah, no, never play it. No, God.
Yeah.
I could imagine doing that. I mean, we went through one of the earlier missions where we knew roughly what was going on, and so we kind of had an idea of what we would need to do.
Bad things happened.
Yeah. It was a bit of a struggle, but we got through it, yeah.
Oh, nice. Well done. Anything else you want to tell us about this game quickly, about the campaign element in a way?
Well, there are a few surprises tucked into the safe house. This one actually leaked because the trophy list came out, but there's Dead Ops Arcade is making a comeback.
That's pretty great, Dead Ops Arcade. I do like that.
And you know what? You can play that in co-op as well, 4-player co-op.
Ooh, nice.
We'll have a video showing exactly how to get that to happen, just in case you want to have that spoiled for you. For fans of the Zombies game mode itself, there's a really nice surprise to be found there as well, which I'm not going to spoil here. That one you can find out for yourself.
All right. Excellent. That's going to do it for our chat about the campaign side of Call of Duty Black Ops 3. If you would like to know about the zombies mode or the multiplayer, then check back later today because we're going to have 2 other videos going up alongside this one. But for now, I have been Chris, and I've been joined by Tef. We've been talking about Call of Duty Black Ops 3 campaign mode. Bye.
Bye.